Test, test. What the fuck? Get it together.
Now we got a low white noise.
Let's go here, Rhodey. Let's go, baby. You can do it.
Let's not fucking freak out again.
You can do it.
Shit. I don't even know if the phone people can hear me because it's disconnected 2 fucking times. Bluetooth. Rode. Not connected. Oh, did it stop again? All right. We're going to start the whole thing over. My Rodecaster Pro 2 just almost like start on fire or something. I don't know.
Went a little haywire there.
Let's try this all over again. I'm going to change the view. We're going to do the whole thing over. All right.
You got it, buddy. Let's go.
Holy Santa Claus shit.
This is the OKest
Practice
podcast.
makes perfect.
Never pass on shooter bucks, because that's just meat in the freezer. It's your tag, you hunt how you want. This is Okayest Hunter.
So we were talking about bourbon. Mitchers? Miters? Mike Mitch. How do you say that? What do you think?
Mixtures. I don't know.
Mitchers small
I
batch
think it's
Kentucky
mixture.
bourbon. Says distilled in a small batches according to the Mitchers pre-revolutionary war quality standards dating back to 1753.
So probably some pretty solid standards.
Seems pretty good.
That is good for sipping over an ice cube, sipping neat, or pouring over a muzzleloader wound in your leg as an
Yeah,
antiseptic.
that's how they.
That is the standard.
Yeah, this is how they got amputees taken care of. They
It is
just
an
drink a lot of
antiseptic.
this.
Yeah, dump it on your leg, have a shot,
That's what they did.
pull
dude.
that bullet right
How-
out.
how
Let's
many-
keep fighting, bud.
Yeah, how many war movies have you seen where it's like that was their painkiller? It was
Yeah.
drink as much booze as you can as fast as possible.
And a
then-
stick in
yes.
the mouth, and just pray to God that you pass out quick.
I can't.
That was a different kind of man than we have today.
And then the men that did it, like you're just like hacking away with a hacksaw on a human bone. How did it not get infected and die of like,
I think most of them did.
you know what? Don't even take the leg. You're gonna take it and then it'll be all this pain and then I'll die anyways. Let's just leave it.
Just leave it
I'll just die.
slowly.
It's like what's that show, the 1820 or 1823 or something like that?
I have not watched that one yet.
It's pretty morbid, or like the whole thing is just—it's the Oregon Trail. That's what it is. It's like a
Dysentery.
real life version of a really well filmed version of the Oregon Trail. Like someone dies every 8 seconds.
This was the best game when you were a kid, though.
It's like the game. I swear to God.
Broken
They're
wagon
just
wheel,
there's like a cutscene where
dysentery,
people are just dying left and right.
family's dead.
This
To
is the
live that.
Okayest Hunter.
Oh my
Welcome
God.
to the show.
Oh.
Welcome back for another week. We had some weird technical thing that's never happened before, and I know I say this every time a technical thing happens, but we just keep finding new ways to create new problems. And this one, my mixer just almost blew up and went into smoke and flames. I'm not sure what happened.
She's doing great now, though.
Cross her fingers that the old girl keeps running here. Brand new piece of equipment, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, Okayest Hunter podcast brought to you by Half Rack. We have a giveaway that we're doing with those guys.
Is that still underway?
So we launched it last week, and let's see if they selected a winner, because I was going to do it on the live podcast.
That'd be fun.
And since I'm running late and losing at life today,
And have
apparently,
no audio.
I think we'll just announce the winner right now. I don't need to make a big drum roll of it, but
But drum roll.
oh shoot, I should let you do a drum roll, but I'm going to back you up a little bit because I need to tell them what they're winning, and I forgot.
Winner is, what'd you win? I don't know, some chopsticks and an origami crane.
and a trip down the Oregon Trail.
Woo!
So winner is going to get okay. Up.
A shot of mixtures.
Okay, so Hunter side, you're going to win a shooter buck grunt tube, a shooter buck hat, which is like the one I'm wearing, or we have the Richardson 112 version,
Grunt tube.
grunt tube on the wall, and a shooter buck hat and a t-shirt. So whatever t-shirt you want, and one of our what we call the pew pew sleeve, which is over there behind Derek. It's like the buffalo plaid gun sock.
Pew pew.
So you can put your gun in there. Yeah, you put your gun in the sock.
Oh, these are a little more heavy duty.
Yeah, moisture wicking technology, very fancy. And then from Half Rack, you're gonna get a pack of Hunter hangers, which you can see displayed here in the podcast
Look
studio.
anywhere,
Yeah.
you'll see one.
We're using them to hang our headsets, our bow and arrow over here, the bear bow that we're giving away at Foam Fest, the shooter buck grunt tube, and then also a Carry Light 3-legged stool. And if you've been paying attention to our social media at all in any capacity whatsoever, you may have seen a photo of our turkey that I got with the meat and Ziploc bags stacked on that stool.
On the stool.
I thought that was a good use. It's going to get punctured in the cornfield or wherever that was. And then a Dolores gun sling. So really nice gun sling. I think that was sported also on our turkey hunt where they got the Half Rack embroidery in a couple spots there, their logo. So it'll be a pack of Hunter hangers, a stool, and a gun sling, as well as a grunt tube, hat, shirt, and a gun sock. So that's a pretty good
Nice. That's
chunk
a
of stuff, right?
great representational package right there.
Yeah.
Decked
So
out. So who is it?
who won? It is, and I don't think they're a listener of the podcast necessarily. I don't know if they are or they aren't, but it's Jimmy Perez. Goes by the Instagram handle Jimmy Perez 864. So Jimmy, we'll get you like a message, or we'll slide into your DM
Ooh.
and let you know you won a gun sock.
Congratulations.
But and everything else, yeah. Congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jimmy, way to
Get-
go, dude.
Pew pew sling on its way.
Love to hunt, play ball, spend time with my family. Hey, that's awesome, man.
Sounds like you're okay hunter guy right there.
Sounds great. So that's that. So thanks to our presenting sponsor, Half Rack, for collaborative giveaway. I have some news from Latitude Outdoors. Let me pull up that so I can get my ducks in a row here. I'm just all over the place, folks. Latitude Film Festival is happening at the Mobile Hunter Expo, which I would love to go to an exhibit on behalf of OKS Hunter. I might just go as an attendee. I'm not sure. It's really hard, to like pull away from the family with everything else we have going on. But it's a Mobile Hunter Expo, Northern Show in Kalamazoo County Expo Center. It's Saturday, July 29th. This is the Latitude Film Festival. So it's brand new. It's kicking off at the Mobile Hunter Expo. So Saturday, July 29th, 8 to 4, and then 4 to 5:30 p.m. is the Latitude Film Festival on July 29th. It's a no bias film festival. Cash prizes are there for entries or people that enter into it. Garmin InReach Mini, Zamberland boots, Latitude gear, of course. And the rules to enter, if you're listening, if you're a DIY filmer or you're a producer or what have you, the rules are 8-minute maximum length for the film, and it has to revolve around whitetail hunting in some way, shape, or form. So pretty straightforward.
Yeah, the film festival sounds really cool. Is this the first year they're doing it? I think.
Yep.
But the Mobile Hunter Expo, that show, they have a northern and a southern show, and I think that started maybe
2
years ago,
a year or two,
and it's grown like crazy. Anyone who's looking to try some mobile gear, tree stands, the Latitude stuff that we always talk about, it's an ideal setup for that. Like, there's people who are not only like experts in it, but are like crazy good deer hunters to learn from, and they do seminars. And then you can play with all the toys, and they can show you what works for them, and like all these little tips and tricks that would take a guy like you or I years to figure out. Like, that's a great place to learn about this stuff too.
Yeah, and hopefully I would have some money to bring with me on that trip. So I'm like, I feel like I would leave there heavy.
Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah,
pack in light, head out heavy, just like hunting.
Just like the hunting scenario.
Yeah, no different, except you're gonna come out with no money in your wallet either. But that's just like hunting too, right? So you got a taxidermy bill and a meat bill and all that other stuff. But yeah, so that's what they got going on. I haven't caught up with Bill in a little bit with Spartan Forge. I think they just dropped something with Eastman's Hunting Journal for like the tagging system. So I don't have a lot of information about it other than maybe go check it out, take a look. I'll likely have a deeper explanation next week, but Spartan Forge is the leader. I don't care what you say. Like,
every other day.
I'll die on that hill. Like they're the leader currently. They're leading the space. They're agile. They are nimble, and they are very smart about what they do and execute and put out. And the product is high quality. So there's a free version. You go to SpartanForge.ai. You can just sign up for free, kick the tires, see how you like it. I'm assuming you're going to want to go deeper, and when you do want to pull the trigger, there, code OHP will get you 20% off. So be sure to check those guys out as you get into some of your summer scouting stuff and plotting pins and so forth, hanging trail cams and whatnot. So forth and whatnot. I'm just using all the weird words.
Whatnot and so forth.
I'll put on for those that are watching live, and I have a caller in queue. We'll get to you in a minute here. If you look on the table here, Derek's holding a set of new arrows. These are the new Method ZMRs that I got for my new Bear Legend XR that I'm excited to get. I got to get everything's dialed in. They came out with their bow press and helped me get everything dialed in as far as they could. Now it's up to me to take the final tweaks, but I was waiting for these arrows to show up. So
these things are sweet.
I mean,
these are sweet.
I think we've all killed with Method. I mean, formerly Vector, so I really trust and know and like the product. I'm excited to put these to work in the new bow.
They look cleaner than they've ever looked. And the helical, these new fletchings, this new outsert, this is nice.
Yeah, they've done a lot to bring stuff in-house. Like they have they have their own, like one of the engineers, Brad. Oh God, I hope I'm remember your name correctly, Brad. Not that I would mispronounce the name Brad. But I've been known to just not know names, and I'm an asshole like that, I suppose. But they have an engineering team in house now, so they've really put a lot of R&D into the product that they're putting out, and they've kept the mainstay of like it's an algorithm that's based on your bow specs, your draw length and weight, and then they show up at your door just like these did. They showed up at my door a couple days ago.
Yeah, so Eric just pulled them out of the box.
Yeah, just
removed one layer of paper, and then there they are. The inserts are in, your field tips, everything. I mean, you put this on your bow and you shoot it 5 seconds later, and they're dialed into your setup.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
So arrows built to my bow specs without having to go anywhere. They just show up that way. Now I am going to go to the archery shop and shoot, so I have 3D targets to shoot at, and I want to make sure that I get my sight pin dialed in with the tape. But other than that, man, it's set.
Yeah, Isaac Smith method. Can't wait to get mine soon because I did get an email this weekend that the new bow I ordered is arrived at the archery shop. So now I got to go pick that up, and then I'll be doing the same thing Eric did, getting it set up, everything sight.
Yep.
Put on, tapes tested, and I like putzing around with that stuff. Not quite as much as Greg does, but I enjoy the process.
Greg goes deep. And in fact, they were going to paper tune. He's like, "Do you think we can throw it through paper?" I was like, "No, I'm not Greg. I don't have anything like that." It's like I got a cheap freaking black hole target here.
We'll use the kids' easel.
And I was like, I gotta make sure there's no kids or dogs in the yard. That's usually why I can't shoot, because there's always a kid that's darting out somewhere they shouldn't be, or a dog that looks like a deer.
Whoops.
It's just yeah. Yeah, and then Go Wild, man. Like Go Wild, timetogowild.com. Check that out. Join it. You can see what's going on nearby. You can log trophies. You can add your gear list. You can do all this stuff there, engage with others. We're posting there as a brand quite often these days, usually about the podcast or like I got a turkey, you got a turkey. So that was my first trophy I posted in a long time under my personal account. That's kind of exciting. So I got a whole bunch of points there. Those points I can cash in for a monetary discount. It's cool.
There's all kinds of people on it. The Hunting Public guys are posted on there quite a bit.
Yeah, you can see Zach Fehrenbau's setup, Aaron Warbritton's setup. They log all the stuff that they use right on that platform. Then you can buy it right there too. You don't have to leave it. So they're giving all the other big box retailers a run for their money in a major way. So if you want to buy something, check out Go Wild first before you go to Amazon or Cabela's or Bass Pro. You're likely going to get a better deal. You're supporting a local startup out of Kentucky. Good dudes
who are all outdoorsmen and doing the same thing you are.
Yep. Good stuff. People help people with powerful stuff. We're going to talk about a couple things today. We're going to talk about antler repair that Derek does. We got some show and tell items over there. We're also going to recap on turkey. But before we do so, Clay Thurman's been waiting for 8 minutes in the call queue, so I'm just going to bring him on real quick.
Patient man.
Clay, what's up, buddy? You're live. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Clay, are you there?
Sounded like he was there for a second.
Am I just...
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, there he is. Oh, hey, Clay.
Thought my mixer blew up again.
Yeah, we thought the old girl was breaking. So a couple things. First of all, it's pronounced Mictors.
Oh, you know about it.
Aren't you saying that?
Say that one more time.
Mictors. Like Mick Dundee.
Like if the H was a K.
Whatever the hell that is.
Did you send me this bottle? Is this from you?
No.
Okay, I just don't know where
I would drink that bottle with you.
Sure as hell ain't sending it to you.
It was like one of those mystery Christmas gifts where people are just sending booze to everybody, and I don't know who it came from, but I got it.
Which one is it?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you mean, which one? Michter's Kentucky Straight Bourbon. I don't know.
Small batch.
Okay, it's the straight bourbon. And it's a round bottle, not oval shape.
Yeah, it's fairly roundish. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, because if there was a 10, a large 10, like the size of both your thumbs down in the center, that would be something that you should probably put back on the shelf and hold off for a little bit. Somebody sent you some Michter's 10 for free.
Yeah,
you should be very, very excited.
I'm not a collector. I'm a drinker, but yeah, that would be good advice. No, this is probably like the more affordable one, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it.
Not bad.
The other thing, help me remember, because somebody is coming out with some sticks that are like all carbon, no noise. Who is that?
So
They got like
that's Latitude. They're coming out at the end of June. I can't give you a date yet because I don't have one. They don't have one. But end of June is what I've been told. So they got to do some prerequisite things when they get their first, order to them, and then once that's done, then it's like full on. And they've developed such a supply chain around this that I don't think they're going to have all the challenges that a lot of other manufacturers have because of the material that this is. So I don't think we're going to see inventory constraints like you see elsewhere once this floodgate opens.
well, that's good. Because whoever it was, I remembered pre-ordering them, but I didn't know who it was.
Take my money.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
It was one of those deals. Like I looked at it and I went, because I mean, you know me, I'm not super in love with being mobile every single hunt, right? But I do have a method 2 that I won on the bow hunting league.
Sweet.
I haven't taken it out of the box because I haven't had the opportunity to yet because I've been moving and things like that. But I saw those sticks, and when I am mobile, that's one of the worst things, in my opinion, is
Clunking.
sticks and noise and just that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we did like a social post on TikTok when we were at ATA, or shortly thereafter, of Corey on their team describing the sticks. I did some B-roll overlay or whatever, and it got 1 million views. And you can imagine what 1 million views does from the comments section. It was more than I could keep up with, but a lot of it was like, I wouldn't trust that over a fart because they're seeing this am steel holding it up without stopping for a second to take into the context of the fact that was talked about, or that we're saying am steel.
Well, and people even thought it was a plastic stick.
Yeah.
Even though they're saying it's a carbon fiber stick.
I'm not putting my fat ass in that Tonka toy, like, or whatever they're saying. And it's like, if you just watch the damn video, you would get all the information, So it was a good learning experience to educate the market about what these actually are and get really familiar and comfortable with talking about the product, because I had to respond to 1,000 people about it. And so that was like done with follow-up videos.
Didn't they get...
Yeah, they won best product.
Wasn't it product of the year or something at ATA? Yeah,
best new product at ATA for 2023.
That provided a little bit of credibility too,
Right, like if someone's gonna put their stamp on it,
just
and the liability of it.
Can't, like, it's not like, I mean, if somebody's on the cover of Bow Hunter magazine or something like that, they paid to be on there. The general rule, you know what I mean? If they're a company,
yep.
I don't mean that I didn't mean to like pick Bow Hunter magazine. I made that up, but there's places out there that's what they're doing, is paying for the advertising to be on the front. But at the same time, a product like that, I was excited enough to pre-order one. I've never pre-ordered anything in my life.
Wow, that's a testament.
And what's interesting about it,
I don't do that.
We talk about it all the time with Latitude, because I always feel like they are innovative at the forefront of all their designs, and like carbon sticks have been done. Like it's been dabbled in. Timber Ninja has some carbon sticks, but they kind of look like regular sticks. And then you get like the Latitude ones, and they're lighter. They're incorporating the am steel. It's like all the innovations that like you've been waiting for and hoping for. Like a guy like me, like, holy crap, somebody did it. Like they put together this ultimate stick. And then that paired with your method too is going to be, when you do go mobile, like it's going to be ideal. It's going to be ideal.
Yeah.
You're going to love it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I don't stick to one particular avenue when I'm hunting. I might be in a ladder one day, and I might be in a old school climber the next, and I don't do that very much at all anymore, because I think that the super lightweight stands and the removable sticks and that sort of stuff has replaced a physical climber itself for me, right? Because I can put the stand up easier and quieter than I can a big stand. So I switched over completely from that when I'm mobile. Not to say I won't use a sit and climb ever again, right? But for now I don't. I killed my last 2 deer out of and I'm not plugging the company. These guys, I do like to stand out of a Hush from Out on a Limb. I killed my last 2 good deer out of one of those. But I almost bought about 2 or 3 of the other kinds too. So
Yeah. I mean,
all
there's
those lightweight ones are pretty cool right now.
they're all so much better than they used to be. It's kind of like bow shopping nowadays.
Or
Like
truck shopping.
any bow you get is going to be so much better than what they were 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and the stands are the same. Like it's hard to go the wrong way.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's just so much good out there to be had right now.
Yeah, there's
It's a good time to be a bow hunter.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Technology's on our sides,
So,
and we need all that.
unless you need grounds, then it's not a great time to be a bow hunter because.
Or if you're hunting public land, because that's overcrowded too. It's a good time to collect bow hunting gear, is what it is.
Yeah, it's a fancy thing. Hey, congrats on your turkey! I saw that. It's very, very nice.
Yeah, thank you. I think we're gonna try
It
to.
wasn't as exciting as your buck recovery.
It was like Greg and Matt did all the work, so I didn't do. All I did was pull the trigger, and so everyone's like, "Hey, good job." I'm like, I didn't really feel like I did anything. It felt like a guided hunt, even though it kind of was, but it wasn't.
Well, it's a team sport, man. That's why turkey hunting's way. I don't want to say. I will say more fun. I think turkey hunting is more fun than tree stand hunting for whitetails or even mule deer. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, it's not as exhilarating as those two. But it's like poor man's elk hunting.
Yeah, it is. You call to them, you interact with them, you get to chase them around, be mobile. Definitely has the same appeal, just not the same end game, not the same product.
Yeah, the gravity of the situation didn't weigh as much as a deer.
Yeah.
But the pack out was easy, so I appreciated that. That was nice. Swap it over your shoulder and carry 20 pounds.
No dragon. No dragon.
No, it's good, but it's not deer hunting. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Are you hooked?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go again." Am I hooked? No, not like deer hunting. Like deer hunting is like part of it's like someone soldered it to my soul. Turkey, I'm like, cool, that's neat. Like it was fun, it was exciting, but it wasn't the same.
I think I called you right after you got yours. And I'm talking to Eric on the phone. Oh my God, you got one. I was so excited for you. And you're like, yeah, we heard him. He came in and I shot him. And I was like, cool. Is that the story? You're like, yeah, pretty much. You definitely weren't as thrilled as
I felt that way.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first time I shot a deer with a rifle, that's how I felt. Like, did I shave my legs for this shit?
I shaved my
It was
legs. Lifted up my skirt and shaved. When I got my first deer with the rifle, I sniped it at 90 yards, and I felt like a sniper. I was like, well, that was cool. Bolt action.
Yeah.
But bow hunting has changed my life. Like I am forever a bow hunter.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
But Derek, you killed a turkey with your bow. You got
one with the bow this year. Yeah, that was fun. Good time, nice and close.
That must have felt a little more exciting because turkeys are so prone to picking up motion. That would have been a little bit harder.
Yeah, it is exciting, and I like getting the turkeys, but man, the last 6 turkeys I shot have been before school. So as soon as I shoot, I'm like, shit, I gotta get my stuff and get going. So it's been a mad rush. But the bow one was definitely more. Well, yeah, it was exciting. Okay. I still get excited.
My heart pumped. Like I got once they started running into the decoys, because once they got close enough, they were like. And I posted a short clip of it that our video guy got, Keegan. And it looks, first of all, whatever camera he's shooting in looked incredible. Beautiful. But that was it. I mean, that was probably the moment that I was like, boom, heart's beating. And then it sounded like I probably could have waited a little bit longer and let him mess around with the decoy and this and that. But I don't know. I was like, this is my opportunity. I'm taking it. Boom, let it go.
Definitely.
So
cool. You got to cut their head off the first time they get in range when you're branding. Like you can't let them. So much can go wrong. If you haven't killed one yet, you're there to kill turkeys. You need to kill turkeys.
That's what it was.
Could not agree more.
I was like, and that's my shot.
And you know what happens? So you're waiting, right? Oh, let's get some good footage. What's going to happen is you're going to look outside of your bead or whatever, and you're going to be moving a little bit to get a good look at it because you want to enjoy it too, and it's going to freaking pick you off, or one of the other ones is going to pick you off, and all of a sudden, and they're freaking gone.
Yeah.
And there goes.
Yeah, there were 6 sets of eyes, right? That's 3 sets of eyes. 6 eyeballs is what I meant to say.
The most exhilarating part of my bow one, the second tag I had here, was a yearling buck came in with my turkey. Oh. So I'm calling to a group of toms, and all I don't even know that the one is coming because I can't really see from the bushes I'm sitting in. But all of a sudden, a deer pops out at like 7 yards, and he's looking at my decoys, this little buck, and he like comes closer and closer, and he's like 7 yards from my decoy, but like 4 yards from me. And I'm like, this thing is gonna smell me, and he's gonna like blow and freak out, like when he realizes I'm right here. And all of a sudden, I hear, and the turkey is right behind him. And I'm like, they're both looking at each other. They're looking at the decoys. They're like, what do you think? Does that look okay? Like, should I go over there? And the Tom just like gobbles like 7 times from 40 yards. He doesn't want to come closer. He's just gobbling at him, gobbling. Finally, the deer comes closer and then like freaks out, walks away, doesn't spook. And then as soon as the deer left, then he came in. But the whole time the deer is by me, that's when I was like, you just go away. The only time I don't want to be close to a deer.
Yeah, we had a fawn come in too, which I think we got on footage.
That's cool.
That's kind of neat. But yeah, I was like, she's gonna smell us.
Checking out the decoys or what?
I don't know. She was just coming across. I think she saw the decoy. Didn't think much of it. Probably caught our scent and trailed off. But yeah, did you get turkey, Clay?
Yeah, I killed one opening day in Nebraska.
That's right.
In pouring down rain.
Oh gosh.
Oh geez, that's a beautiful turkey.
So yeah, it was I have like no pictures. Yeah. I have a couple. I was on a bow hunting league team, so I had to take, the standard photos that you have to take, but they were just horrible. It had been raining for 5 hours.
Oof. Yeah, it's hard to make a wet turkey
not exactly.
It's hard to make a wet turkey.
You can't make a wet turkey look good. It's tough.
No. But I will say, from Eric, if you reap a bird, you will be excited. If you're not excited, just regular old run and gun turkey hunting, if you reap a bird, I'm telling you right now, there is never been a time where I have almost shit down my leg in the woods like when a tom comes and you have to hit him with your stabilizer to get him off of you.
Holy cow. That would be
it's crazy.
There's some thoughts about reaping, and we won't get into it because I don't want the drama. But like there's some
I don't know if it's
like a purist,
drama, right?
But like, oh, don't do that. Reaping's bad because it's like it's so much more effective. And then it's like, don't use decoys because it's so much more effective. It's like, well, what do you want me to do here? The gun is pretty effective. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. Like, I'm talking about what's effective here. When I need to do, spear the damn thing. But
right. And now that I started bow hunting them, because I took my nephew Will with me to Nebraska this year, and this kid's an accomplished hunter. I mean, he had killed probably 15 birds before he was 12. The guy, he's been around, and now he's 20. So we headed out there, and once I started hunting with a bow, I can kill, and I know it. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying it's really easy to kill one with a shotgun. Now that I know how to kill him with a bow, I could just tag out, so much more. And I think that's why, and it helped me be a better turkey hunter, because with a shotgun, you called them in and you shot them and it was over. Like with a bow, I might have 4, especially reaping, I might have 4 or 5 shot opportunities a day, or experiences where something's charging at me, and they change their mind and something goes wrong or whatever. So it's a crazy different way to do it. And yeah, there's drama, and God, can't we just do anything without a little bit of drama now and then? But
no, you can't.
I guess you can't anymore.
Nope.
No, you just can't.
You guys, you guys always preach the your tag, your hunt, right? And that's the same way. I'm sure you feel the same way about that.
I do. I mean, like look, ethical is part of that whole paradigm. Like, as long as it's legal and ethical to some degree, not everything's going to be a clean one shot, one kill kind of situation, but you can't hate on someone for using a crossbow when it's a far more effective weapon at killing than a trad bow or a compound bow or a rifle, for that matter. Not more than a rifle, but just rifles are ethical. So, I hate gun hunters, or I hate well, okay.
Just don't do it.
Like, if they don't have the time or dedication that you have, that's probably the better weapon for them to be using.
Absolutely.
Would you rather they use something that they're not
and
practicing
enjoy?
With?
Yeah.
At least they get to get out and experience it still, and they're not like, they probably have to shoot that a handful of times for them to have confidence in that it's going to hit the mark. So
and we talk about why we're there, right?
Yep.
Why is Eric there? Why is Clay there? Why are we out in the woods? Well, I'm out in the woods because of how it makes me feel, right? I enjoy the end result or the path there as well, but I enjoy the rush. I enjoy all of that. And when we talked about earlier that I don't get a rush from shooting a deer at 300 yards with a 7mm Remington mag, but you kind of liked it. Well, that's cool. Everybody gets their rush a little different way. And now with turkeys, I have a whole renewed rush for turkeys because they come to attack you. Like, it's so cool, man. Is it a little easier? Well, I mean, it comes with its new set of challenges. But you want to talk about effective into getting them to -2 yards. Like, they're effective. You know, when you literally have to hit them.
When you're looking at that when you're looking at that ball sack attached to that trash bag.
You got to get good at drawing your bow quickly.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if I mean, I use a 24-inch stabilizer on my reaping setup so that I keep some distance. Like, I got a stick out in front.
You put a little bayonet on the end of that? You might want to.
I could.
Bloodbath out there, man.
Hey, fellas, I just pulled in the driveway. I've enjoyed visiting with you here. I'm going to get the hell off.
Thanks for calling, man.
Great to hear from you, Clay.
It.
All right, boys. Talk to you later.
See you
later.
We had another caller in queue, but I think it's hard to wait. So if you
maybe they'll call back.
It was Jacob Emery. If you want to call back in, buddy, we're here for you. Try, and he says, call back in, Jacob. The phone lines are open. We're hot. The number is on the screen, 262-757-4122. We are here to take your calls. This is your show. This is the Okayest Hunter. Oh, okay, where's that? That's not what I wanted.
That was actually perfect.
I just wanted to play some Shut up, crickets. Take a quick interlude here. That was a caller. That was Clay Thurman. Good buddy of the brand, good buddy of mine. Talk to him every now and again. If I ever want someone to tell me something as like non-sugar coated as humanly possible, I'll call Clay. He'll just straight up tell me that's a dumb fucking idea, Eric. I'm like, damn it.
That is a redeeming quality.
Yeah. My eye keeps watering. I'm not crying.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
So turkeys, I like turkeys. Actually, I think they're ugly as hell and very strange. But I do find them fascinating. It was a fun hunt. It was cool to be with people and not have to worry about scent control and all that jazz. And it was just like an early morning thing. We got breakfast afterwards. So like the whole day of it was actually not bad at all. It was pretty cool.
But I mean, it's so much of it is like deer hunting in that like every experience is different. So like you sat in a field edge roost setup, right? Like you got there before light, you waited. It's different than like going out at 10 a.m. and being like, let's walk around and call and set up and like, you know, like, oh, you heard one. And then like set up real quick. That's a totally different type of exhilaration than like sitting there waiting. Oh, they're getting closer. Effective, but it's different.
I think that would be fun to do it that way.
Yeah.
This felt the same as deer hunting because you get in, you sit, you wait, you don't move, you're quiet, all that stuff. And maybe you call your rattle or something like that with deer hunting. You're never going to get that feedback like you do with the turkeys gobbling. But then the outcome wasn't the same as a deer. So it felt like the same type of hunt with a different end result. And I was like, meh.
And a lot of guys do that with guns, especially with bows, like pop up a blind where you know they're going to walk by at some point.
Yep.
They just wait.
Yeah.
Well, that's not why I turkey hunt at all. Like I turkey hunt so I don't have to sit there and wait. Like that's the fun part is getting up and going. Now you didn't have to wait long, so it's not.
Yeah,
like
it was funny because
Greg had you in a great spot.
Well, it felt long, and Keegan and Matt were like, man, you know, Matt, I have text messages from Matt Strime with Weathered Oaks. He's like, man, they're taking their sweet time. They're taking the slow train through Tennessee or whatever. And I'm like, it's 6:00. Like they could take another hour and it's still, I hear them coming. It's going to happen.
Yep.
They're going to enter this field and they're either going to decide to come to us or not. And either way, at least I've seen a bird and I got to call and got to experience something. Cause the first time I went, nothing happened. We saw a single hen, which you can't shoot. And like nothing existed. And Greg said, at least we have a live decoy, but then there's nothing else around. So for me out of the gate, hearing turkeys gobbling the whole morning from all different directions was already pretty cool. But yeah, once they came in, I don't know, it's a bird.
But it built up your experience, and now next year go for a different experience. Go where like you chase them down. You know what I mean? And like you'll have a different approach to it and a different experience with it. Man, I went through a phase for probably 6 or 7 years where I just didn't turkey hunt because It's like what you said. It was just a bird to me. Like
Mhm.
I like antlers because they're all different. They look cool. Like the hunt just seems like more rigorous to me. And like the turkeys, I was just like, I don't really care. Like
Yeah.
kill a bird, boop, it's dead. Like it looks exactly like the one I killed last year, like the one I killed before that. It doesn't matter.
And the
to me.
beards are weird.
But I'm back into it now.
Oh
Like
my
I'm
God.
having fun doing it now.
Like I just gave myself my next meme from Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly. You got a weird beard. Just want to show my
Just a
turkey
little
beard.
jinky one.
Your beard's weird.
Your beard is weird. There you go.
But seriously, I don't. What the fuck? They have like this weird beard, and then the talons, and then the rocks that's in their.
It's freaking
What's
weird.
it called? They're not their. I was gonna say
They're
vodka.
gizzard.
Gizzard. I was gonna say gimlet. I'm like, it's not a vodka gimlet. It's a gizzard. But nonetheless, they're just strange looking animals.
They are.
And yeah, that's about it. My kids enjoy doing the gobbler call that I have that apparently
that
you
the
would
shake
never
one?
use with the shake one. My kids love it. So I have a gobbler that my kids use now just around the house randomly. They'll just randomly go and they scare the shit out of the dogs and all this commotion breaks out. My wife
Jude scared the crap out of me when I came in your house today. Run around the corner and went, ah! You got me good.
The wild house. And then so let's talk about before you leave, let me get some clips of these things so I can do some fun stuff for you here.
Cool.
But you maybe before you grab them, for those that don't know, Derek is an artist by trade. Like he's an art teacher. And with that, to be a teacher, you have to know how to do the stuff.
You have to be able to know how to tell people to do stuff.
Yes. So effectively, you're an artist. And like the Fred Bear drawing that sits behind you and every shot here that you drew that with pencil, that's a print of it, but it's effectively looks the same.
Yep.
Maybe there's a couple more smudges on the one that's the original, but you know, it's amazing artwork. You do commission artwork. You're drawing for other people, whether it's their dog or apparently draw on feathers, which was new to me, which we discovered recently.
Yeah.
I discovered that recently.
Yeah, I've done it on a whole bunch of different stuff and all kinds of. Man, I painted Corvettes on hubcaps for somebody who did like these cool brushed aluminum hubcaps, and they wanted their Corvette painted on it. They hung it on the wall. Did a 90-pound sawmill blade from a giant saw. Painted that thing. That was a nightmare, but it was interesting.
I can't believe you can go from like Corvette to human. Certain people have their like things that they stick with. Like me, when I was in art school,
Because you're an artist too, man.
Sure, and
You are.
I did traditional art, or like I did oil painting and watercolor, and I did.
And you
know,
do all the graphics. Like you have an eye for it. You know what you're
Sure.
doing with design.
But I'm
You're
not
good.
like I couldn't do what you do, first of all, and I certainly couldn't do it out of the gate very easily whatsoever. And it's masterful what you do. But I did landscapes. Like that was like the one thing that I felt comfortable doing because you can't really mess up a landscape.
Oh,
It's
sure
like,
you can.
We don't have mistakes. We call those happy accents. Like I'll just draw a tree here now. Like whatever. But a face, you change one thing and the whole expression changes. Now it's like, why does he look so fucking angry? Well, I kind of messed up on that eyebrow. But if I do a tree wrong, it's like, well, no, that's
the beautiful thing about trees and nature.
Yes. So I loved landscapes for that reason. I got really into the oil painting and like using a lot of turpentine to thin out the paints and do layers and whatever. That being said, you also do sculpture, right? Or like, is that what you call it? Sculpting, sculpture?
Yeah. I really enjoy sculpture as like an art form, and then obviously this way as a way to do a little side hustle while also involving my love of deer and antlers. So I've been doing antler repair first out of necessity. I got started on it out of necessity just because shed hunting. My parents and I have shed hunted since I was a sophomore in college. Like my sophomore year, we like went on a trip to Buffalo County, and we were just gonna go like look at deer. And we went to Tom Indrabo's farm. If anybody's from Wisconsin, they probably heard of Tom Indrabo. Bluff Country Outfitters, been around forever. One of the like premier destinations in the Midwest. And Tom was a super nice guy. Invited us in his house. He's got like a shed collection from like, he collects them. So they're like, he buys them from Canada.
Oh yeah.
I mean, his antlers that he has score more than deer that I've shot, and like they're just crazy. But we started shed hunting because he let us walk some of his ground, found a shed, went up to the cabin, found some sheds. Hey, this is cool. And then we just started shed hunting together. Well, sheds get chewed on by squirrels all the time because once they're off a deer's head, they no longer have mobility. So they lay there, and squirrels, porcupines, mice, bears, coyotes, wolves chew on them. So a lot of the nice ones we would find would be chewed up. I'm like, man, that sucks. It's like the whole time it's chewed up. So I was like, you can probably figure out a way to fix these. And I started looking on taxidermy forums and figured out how you can use the sculpting materials to sculpt it, and you try to color it. And a lot of people do it. I mean, if you go on YouTube, there's a million people who repair and rebuild tines and broken racks, but a lot of them just look really bad. Like, I'm not saying mine are perfect, because they're definitely not. But like over the last 15 years, I've kind of figured out things that work better. A lot of people like use wood stain. And when you repair an antler and you're putting a new material on there, stain, like, like if you put stain on a piece of wood, it's going to be different than if you put it on this piece of plastic. It's not going to sit the same. So like that's always a huge issue, because you can tell it stands out really weird, just doesn't look natural. So you just get this weird lumpy look. So over the years, I kind of just played with all kinds of different materials, and now I do, I don't know, I wouldn't say a lot, but a fair number each year of repairing sheds and racks for people both these bucks here broke off naturally from fighting, or I don't know what happened to them, but they broke tines naturally. I just finished a repair for a guy who accidentally shot the rack off during rifle season. So he shot it in the base and the rack exploded.
Oh my God.
He had pieces of it, and we put it back together and got it looking good again. And most people today have trail cam pictures. So like, oh, this was what it looked like, like I'd love to have it back like that, because it broke all this off. So I enjoy doing it.
Otherwise, you're just making executive decisions on like, based on symmetry of the other side or something like that.
Matching the other side if they don't have pictures, basically. Yeah. And I just talk to them like, what are you looking for in this? Like, you want it to be the same?
Can you add an extra point?
How many drop tines did you want?
Not typical. Yeah. Let's apply some AI here.
Yes.
Some generative antler repair.
Well, it scores 114. I'd like it to score 180. We can do that.
Yeah, let's talk about the Ron Pola buck while we're at it.
Yes. Hey, that's probably what was going on there.
That's probably, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way that thing was real. There's no way
so.
that thing was real.
I think it's pretty obvious the skull plate had been altered with the way that skin was sitting on the head. Not to get this into a Ron Pola discussion.
Blah, blah, blah. But that's interesting, because that someone probably did some of that type of work.
Yeah.
So then we have to be careful with the bucks that you put in. As someone that knows how to do this witchcraft.
Oh, I don't put anything in any kind of book. Don't worry.
I wonder why, Ron Pola.
No. But it is interesting, because we were talking about before, right? Somebody's always got to say something. Mm-hmm. So like I posted on Wisconsin Rut Report, which is a pretty decent sized page.
Yeah.
And I just said, I know this isn't for everyone, but if somebody, if you shot a deer that, was busted, broken, and you'd like it back to what its, original thing, let me know. I do this, and quarter of the comments are, "You should never fix a deer. That's absolute garbage bullshit." And I'm like,
it's art. It's art.
Some people want it. Some people don't. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Does your cord reach that far?
Yeah.
Without breaking the mixer?
Yeah. So this is a buck my good buddy Scott shot, and he had this deer on camera all year. Shot it during gun season.
So just for the people listening that'll get this in podcast land, how many points?
We've got a 10-point frame with a kicker on the G2. It's real narrow, but everything's real tall. Really pretty Wisconsin buck, probably a 4-year-old. So he was hunting opening day, and like middle of the day, he saw like a deer moving through like this grassy stuff. It was moving away from him, and he just saw G2s sticking up out of the grass. Saw that one was bladed and had a point. And he's like, "Oh my God, I know that buck." First chance he had, boom, shot it, came up to it. Both the brow tines were broken. G2s on both sides completely broke off, and the G3 on one side completely broken off, like literally level with the beam. It was all snapped up. He had photos of it. So he gave it to me, and I was like, "Dude, 3 days before I shot it, it looked like this." And he showed me the picture, and he's like, "I shot it. It looks like this. Can I please have it back to normal?" So this is in the beginning stages here. I've sculpted some tines. And I've got like a real light base coat on. So I always try to like get the lightest color that's in there. And then I actually use oil paint.
Oh, interesting.
Because you can mix it so well to match colors.
That's true.
And then I apply it, let it dry a little.
Do more.
Yes. Dry brush it, you know what I mean? And spread it out. And if you know what you're doing with paint, it's the best way to do it that I've found. But if you don't know what you're doing with paint, an oil paint.
So when you're mixing the oil paints, are you thinning it out? Because with oil paint, you would have to use a turpentine, right?
You don't have to, but you can. Yeah. So
because would that erode what you're doing or no? If you're using
if you apply it like in multiple strokes, it'll erode what's underneath it, right? Like that
the next
is
layer down. So
that's
your
a
base
solvent,
wouldn't.
so it's going to take
Yep,
off
yep.
anything under it. But if you use it to like break it down and then like apply it real light in like 1 or 2 strokes, it's good. Otherwise, you can put it on real thick, let it dry for a little bit, and then when you go dry brush over it, the wet stuff that sits in the middle will spread,
Mhm.
and then you'll still have the brush stroke you made.
So is this one finished?
No. This is just in the beginning stages.
Okay.
So I still got to do a little bit of sanding to get it flat.
And what
then I gotta color the whole
grain
thing.
sandpaper or something super fine?
Probably like 120 to get started, just because there's like a big bump here.
Okay.
So I got to get that smooth.
And then what are these called? All these little bumps. What do you
This
call
is
those?
beading.
So
Bead
do you
work.
even
Yep.
add the beading?
Yep. So that's all added and dremeled in. So I got to still color that. But that's, man, any kind of brow tine stuff is always tricky because you got to dremel it and try to get it to match the natural stuff. This one's done, ready to go home.
So my wife saw this one and I heard her when you were walking in. She's like, you can't notice.
With all of them, I think it's important for people to know, like,
if you're going to x-ray it,
the way, if you're going to x-ray it, if you're going to enter that into the, up close in your hand, you'll be able to notice, like, it's oil paint on artificial material. It's not bone that's been rubbed over trees. So like up close, when I look at it, like I can definitely tell, but up on a wall, most people will never, ever, ever be able to tell. So this was a really cool buck that a guy shot. And then the son talked his dad into getting it fixed because it was his biggest one. And it was the most interesting break I've ever seen. They had pictures of it a couple days before the guy shot it during gun season, and it was totally normal. And then he shot it, and the end of the beam, maybe like 4 inches of the tip of his beam was broke off. The G3 was broken off, but it was almost like if you had hit something real hard into the G3 and it didn't snap, but it pulled the whole top of the beam off. Because the entire beam all the way to the G2, like the top half was gone and it was all the way down to the marrow. And then the G3 on that side was completely snapped off. So I don't know what the deer did, hit, smashed into.
Because they gotta do some stuff with real force these bones are hard.
Oh, for real?
Like the things that they're such powerful creatures. The things they're doing to really knock antlers off, it's funny to me that.
Yeah, so like everything from here forward is fake, and then this is fake.
It looks really good.
I think it looks all right.
I think it looks okay.
I think it's okay. That's okay.
It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, you're restoring a memory almost. You know, you're giving the buck to the folks that were like, you should never do that. You're almost kind of like giving that buck the crown back, the credit. You see a buck that drops its antlers. I don't know, it's just a big weird deer.
It's a goofy looking animal.
It's just but it's got its antlers, and it's like it turns into the king. You know, the king that we chase, the ghost of the woods. And when you bust that up, like this one's all, I don't know, it's missing some shit over here. I think that adds a lot of character. Maybe it's not. I can't tell what the hell's going on with this deer. I think it's something definitely broke off.
He's got an interesting bladed tine over there. That could have been like a weird little.
But to that end, like, yeah, there's character there, but also it's almost like you're almost giving the animal some respect back or something. I don't know what I'm trying to articulate.
In a weird way, yes. Yes. That's what I
think you're picking up what I'm putting down, but I'm struggling to put into words.
No, that's what I always say is like, if you want your deer back to his former, how do I put it?
His majestic self.
Yeah, almost like that, you know, like
the king that he is, the crown that he had, or I don't know.
And it's weird because like people, especially in like Wisconsin, like there's not many people who are what I would call like a trophy hunter. People wait for older class deer, but it's not because like they just want to like put that head up. Like it's the challenge of it. So I don't want to say it's like a trophy hunt. You know what I mean? Like trophy hunting in Africa seems different to me than like waiting for a 5-year-old buck here.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
What I would say, I agree with you that the bigger the antler denotes the older animal, which denotes the wiser it is, the harder it is to hunt, the more challenging the hunt, the more intrinsically rewarding that hunt has become.
Especially if you knew or saw the deer before, you know, like it builds up a story.
Yep.
So to say like, well, the antlers don't matter. What does it matter whether it has that or not? I think for some people, it probably doesn't matter at all. But for a lot of people, it does matter. It does. Sorry.
Yep.
It does.
It's funny how many people have said we should like consider changing the name of Bouquet Hunter because of the season we had.
We had a good year.
That happened again with the turkeys. But I think there's a lot of OKS moments. Somewhere in me, I'm going to struggle to articulate this too. Apparently words are hard today, but I almost want to show that, like, yes, a blind squirrel can find a nut. And I think that has definitely happened with the deer that I have to some degree. Now, am I putting the puzzle pieces together? Am I getting a little bit better incrementally? Sure. Am I a skilled big buck killer? No, I would not put myself in that category. I'm not that naive. However, I do like to show that luck does play a large role in this.
Huge.
Skill can be learned over time. This is not something unachievable. And I like to show that us, even the OKS hunters, can kill high caliber deer, and we don't have to be an asshole about it.
Yeah.
And I almost like to prove that we can do it, to show that we can do it without having to be an asshole or be in your face about it or be like, this is the only thing I hang my hat on. It's like, yeah, that was a really good time. I had a lot of fun hunting that deer and, whatever, right? Like, it's just, I don't know.
No, I 100%
interesting statement that I've been like building on, and I have a lot of chapters bookmarked in a bunch of Stoic books that I'm eventually going to write a blog article about. But yeah,
no, yeah, luck plays such a huge role in every hunt. Like whether you are willing to admit it or not, it absolutely does. And like, just embrace that part of it. Like that's
not to make everything philosophical, but going back to the antler repair, how long does it take you to do? I mean, I'm sure there's like a range of time.
Incremental. So like, especially when I have like a bunch of them, like I do it all. And like, if I'm getting epoxy clay out,
kind of batching,
I'm going to do it all. Yep. Sure. As many as I can at the same time. But I mean, if I just sat down with one and had an uninterrupted block of time,
it's not going to happen.
Like you could do it.
We're both laughing.
You could do it. I mean, taxidermists do not like doing it for the most part. There are some really good ones in Wisconsin, but most taxidermists,
it's a different art form than
they don't like. Yeah, it is way more finicky and like color. Like I've seen some really, really rough ones, and they just don't like to do it. One of the taxidermists in southern Wisconsin, south of you here, last year he hired me out to do all of his repairs. So I repaired elk and a whole bunch of deer for him because he just said it's so time consuming. I just don't want to deal with it. I just would rather be mounting deer. So here you go.
So you got subcontract to do a bunch. That's healthy work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you handled it. You could navigate it. And
I mean, that one I did an elk. That
probably changed his process a little bit.
Added 54 inches of elk. Think about how big an elk antler is. That's a lot of freaking epoxy there.
Yeah. That's probably not cheap. You're not stealing it from your school, are you?
No.
Breaking Bad.
I don't even. I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of sad because kids would like not to do antlers, but like. Sculpture is really interesting, and sadly, right now we don't have a sculpture class.
Really?
In school. We have ceramics.
Ceramics is
which is our only 3D, but we have a block schedule, so kids only have 4 classes a day.
Mm-hmm.
So it limits how many classes you can have. Because
does it alternate though? Right? The 4 one day, 4 another day.
Nope. Same 4 classes for a semester.
Wow.
Hour and a half classes.
Ugh. Glad I'm not in school.
I mean, could you imagine being a calculus teacher?
No. But those people love that shit.
They do.
Let's not talk. I had a college professor that was like about as nerdy as they come. I'm like, dude, you are too smart to be teaching this class. Like, you are not dumbing it down nearly enough for us.
But that's the thing. A lot of those people who are so good at it, like I had a chemistry professor in college who was a genius in his field, super well published.
Yeah.
The worst teacher I ever had in my life.
Yes,
they were curving in the test. So if you got like a 40%, that was an A.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that just shows you how ineffective your teaching is.
Terrible teacher. I would go to him for help and he couldn't comprehend what I wasn't getting. I was like, it was like that.
Well, they forgot they ever learned it. You know what I mean? They forgot it was ever new.
What's that? Billy Madison. Slow it down. He doesn't. Nothing changes. Yeah, that's how it is.
Chlorophyll. More like borophyll.
Oh gosh. Well, the mixer has stood up now, so I almost wonder if it was this power source.
As soon as you switched, it worked better.
Yeah, it could have been. Maybe that surge protector's got to go, or I'm just daisy chaining too many cords together in here. Probably. It's a total mess down here. I want to get some cable management done, but I don't know what to do with that.
You got a lot of equipment here.
Yeah. Justin Sinan. He says, "What's up, my dudes? What up, buddy?
Hey, dude.
How's your podcast doing?"
Man, his podcast's been doing good. He had a heck of a spring turkey hunting, and I think he and his wife both shot birds on their opening day. He shot another one. He called me, found one of the biggest sheds he's found in a while.
Oh, good. Wow.
He's having a good spring. Doing good things.
Doesn't need repairs?
I don't know. He need any repairs?
You offered to repair mine upstairs. I'm like, nah, it's fine. It just sits on our coffee table or our coffee bar up there.
I got a bunch of sheds right now. Waiting repairs. 3 match sets that need some repair, one that needs some color. A couple more deer. I got one that needs the whole beam built out, and then a guy messaged me today for another one that needs more beam built out. So
that's crazy. And the painting, the fact that you can do it on several different mediums, and subject matters like Corvettes to deer to Fredbear to whatever is really quite, like, that's impressive. You understand the principles of art if you're able to do that.
Thank you.
I just understood landscapes.
Hey, you gotta start
That's what
somewhere.
I liked. I did do a drawing, like they made you do like different. They have you try different materials, right, until you get to your groove. And because I did 3 years of art in high school, and then I did an extra class after. I was going to go to MyAd, and then I didn't. But I drew in the pastel. What is that? Pastel, like chalk?
Chalk pastel?
Yeah, I drew Katie Holmes because I was obsessed with Katie Holmes back then. Dawson's Creek. You know what
Nice.
I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, Joey.
Wait, did you draw Joey or Katie Holmes?
Katie Holmes. Okay. And she had a pretty crooked face, like, because you did the grid.
The grid.
I'm like, shit, dude. One eye is actually lower. And I said, like, you want to find imperfections in a person, draw their fucking face.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this is wild, man.
That's one of a painter that I follow on Instagram. That's one of the things he always says. He said, you don't know something until you've
studied it and recreated
Once you paint it or draw it,
Yep.
like, you will never look at it the same again because you have studied every minute detail about it. And it's so true. All my kids who are in my drawing class, I'm like, you guys feel like you've gotten better? Like, do you look at things differently? And they're like, oh my God, when I look at stuff now, oh my God, like, look, the colors, the lights and darks, and like,
yeah.
it
Like,
is.
there's
You do
no
look
whites
at
of an
things
eye. You don't
different.
just draw a white eye. There's no white in there when you actually draw it. Or like, there's purple in the grass that you've never seen before. When you look, you're like, where did that come from? And you have to do your base layers. Like, if you're gonna do something in red, you'd put down green first.
And everybody sees
like,
it, but it's your brain. Your brain tries to make everything easy for you.
Simplifies it.
So I can always tell when my kids are drawing what they think things look like, or if they're drawing what it actually looks like, because your brain says, well, an eye is this shape. Or, a face looks like this. You go, well, no, look it.
That's a square.
Yeah,
or
it's
an
not.
oval,
It's not even close.
Like your Fred Bear, I'm looking at you right there. Like, that's, yeah. It takes a keen eye to pull out all of those wrinkles and the shapes that they make. That neck is fascinating.
He has quite a wrinkly neck.
A bit of a gizzard.
A bit of a gizzard.
You almost feel bad drawing that kind of stuff. You're like, man, but this is what I see. Like, this is what it looks like. And if I want to make it look real, like, I gotta fight my brain to do what I see, not what I think it should look like.
And without overemphasizing it. Otherwise it looks really bad.
No, it's cool. I dig it, man. It's really great that you do that stuff. So, and you're obviously people follow you that listen to the show. People knows Derek Melcore. You're part of the crew here, but it's the great outdoors. And I can't tell you how many people I've sent your way from TikTok that have seen the Fred Bear drawing, whether it's passively
sold a bunch.
or directly or what have you. And it's like, I just say, go to our website, go to our about, click on his page, figure it out from there. You're a smart internet navigating savvy human.
Figure it out.
If you want the drawing, go figure it out. I can only do so much to add a comment to tell someone where to go.
Yeah, and that one
sparked
a whole bunch of other ones too. I had different people, hey, can you draw Fred Bear doing this with this quote? And been selling a couple of those here and there. So it's been good. It's cool. Appreciate you pushing the people.
People help people. And where we started. Well, with that, I'll play some. Well, that's still going, huh?
Hey.
Wow. All right. What else do I got? Foam Fest. We're in the planning stages. Stay tuned for more. I'll announce something. I think by next week I'll have official details.
Do you have to meet back with them, or are they?
I think I can just call my sponsor over there, who happens to be the president currently, and nail down the details. And really, it's going to be how we craft how it's set up. And so once I get that, I can have confidence in officially booking it out. But my guess it'll be. And we want to cover there's a lot of costs to cover. You don't realize how expensive it is to feed 50, 60 people until you go to the grocery store and you're like, I totally underdo it. My wife's like, are you stupid? They're going to eat more than that. You always have to have more than enough, because if you run out, that's a bad problem. Yeah. Having leftovers is fine. Yeah. And so you always have to overshoot. And she's really good at that. And I'm an inconsiderate prick, apparently. I'm like, nah, they're hunters. They'll just eat, baked beans and sloppy joes. It's fine. She's like, what? you got to cater something. I'm like, no. Greg Tubbs is on the job.
We are
We
catering.
got a huge Nesco.
The Tubbs charcuterie.
Like, we are fine, and it ended up being great last year. But yeah, we'll cover everyone's first drink at least. We'll supply food. There'll be prizes to give. Like, we're giving away a lot of stuff. It's a fun time, and then there'll be camping this year.
Come on out.
So-
The odds of you winning something are very
Pretty good because it's not
Very
it's a good, like, y'all are a community, you know, and there's just not that many of you that it's like we're not the hunting public. You know,
Yeah.
if they put on something, it would be jam packed.
Yeah.
If we do something, we might have 60 people show up.
Yeah,
And-
which is great
Yeah, you're gonna have good odds.
because
of
you get to
winning.
know everybody. It's awesome.
So check out our website and stay tuned for more. But that's the end of that music. So I guess I'll just stop talking now.
Good night. Backwards house.
Pew, pew, pew. Let's get that done before it breaks. And